Hello, hello. Big Swear, roadtour.com. Can you hear me? I'm muffling. I gotta wait till a couple people come on. We're gonna do a lot of chat today about what's going on with the silver market and in America. Can you guys hear me? Give me a 5x5 if you can hear me. I know there's ads playing before everything I do. Gotta pay the bills, make some moolah. But yeah, I am wearing my red, white, and blue stuff. Can you guys hear me? All good? 5x5. There it is. Take that silly mask off, Joe. I agree. You can't breathe in this shit. Whoo, doggy. It's getting kind of crazy out there in my favorite country in the whole wide world, the United States of America. Oh, my goodness. I want to talk about the reason I wanted to come on live chat is people are asking about what's going on with the Comex deliveries. Yes, yesterday, day before yesterday, was the largest delivery in the history of planet Earth, except potentially for one day, and that was the day in 1980 when the Hunt brothers stood for about 15,000 contracts. Now, I didn't have the data on that. I was all ready to write up, hey, this is the largest delivery ever with the 11,458 contracts delivered, which is what, 55 million ounces of physical silver delivered, mostly by JP Morgan. But then I contacted Ted Butler just to make sure, because he's been around for a hell of a long time, and he said, I remember back in the 80s there was a 15,000 demand, 15,000 contracts, which is a hell of a lot more, 75 million ounces demanded by the Hunt brothers. So that's the kind of world we live in. Remember what happened then? The federal government came in and said, "Hey, you're trying to rig the corner of the silver market," and they changed the rules on the Comex. They discounted. They said, "No, you don't have to deliver this," and the price of silver basically went from $50 down to $12. Now we got the opposite going on. A whole bunch of people standing for delivery, which I'll get to in a second, and the price is about a little over a third of what it was in 1980. The insanity of that concept is just mind-boggling. And JP Morgan was allowed to amass a 1 billion plus ounce physical holding of silver, which they're now leasing out. The game is beyond criminal, but that's where we're going. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and then I really want to get into the chat room today. I got a little chat thing I'm watching here on the right side of my screen. So we'll go get into the chats in just 1 second. I just want to show you guys. Here's the printout of Monday's, the 29th. Is that Monday? Yeah, that's the printout of who took delivery. And if you want to know the names of, we all know JP Morgan's in there rigging the markets, silver markets. But here's the other names. Citibank, of course, in there rigging the markets. One of the most criminal banks in America, up there with HBSC, which HBSC is up on this too. Goldman Sachs, surprise, surprise, taking 2,000, which is 10 million ounces for their own house account. HSBC supplying 2,248 contracts, meaning they're going to have to give basically Goldman all their physical silver if they have it. Scotiabank is in there also giving up 950 contracts. And we all know they're taking massive losses on their metals portfolio, and they declared after 400 years that they're getting out of the business. Bank of America, another criminal bank, along with Citibank and JP Morgan, part of the rigging cabal, they stood for delivery of 1,300 contracts. And each contract is worth 5,000 ounces of physical silver. And then today, so yesterday's or day before yesterday, 11,458, the largest in history, except for the Hunt brothers' day, supposedly, according to Ted. Ted knows everything. So he goes, I seem to recall there was a 15,000 contract delivery. And then today we got more little JP Morgan, about 810 today. It basically, most of the time, most of the delivery notifications happen on the first day, and then they have all month to deliver. So some of these companies probably don't have the metal. They'll be leasing it from JP Morgan, getting it anywhere they can, and trying to scrape together enough metal to deliver by the end of the month. That's my take on the insanity. And yes, we are closer than we have ever been to the, well, I would say 1980, we were close to freeing silver from the criminals when it went from like, what was it, under $5 to $50 in by 1980. And then we were close to the destruction of the criminal cabal that rigs the gold and silver markets. Then the government stepped in. Alan Greenspan's rigging programs kicked into high gear. Paul Volcker was the head of the Fed back then. He embraced and took on Alan Greenspan's programs through the Fed. The Fed was doing it all out of Boston, actually. That's where the computer market rigging had started, and using the bullion bank. So here we go. This is exciting. What does it mean? Who the hell knows? Because behind the scenes, anything can happen. But it is a good sign that people are starting to understand that physical silver is completely different from the electronic blips. And that can be seen in people standing for delivery of, right now we're at 12,268 contracts. Oh, by the way, somebody told me to get a calculator because I keep, I'll lay out a number and try to figure out in my head, and I always get it wrong. So I did order one of those accounting calculators that is on the way. But let's see, 12,268 times 5,000. These are the total amount in the first 2 days. 61,340,000 ounces of physical silver have been demanded to be delivered from the COMEX. That's the biggest, at least since 1980. Wow. That's all you got to say is wow. JP Morgan is now, I think Ted's latest analysis of them is they are completely long on the paper. It's not paper, it's electronic silver side of the COMEX, which is crazy. So what does it mean? Who knows? The marking still, or rigging still goes on today. Now remember, some of these banks do not have that physical silver to deliver in these contracts, so they're going to have to buy it between now and the end of the month. Of course, they're going to slam the price down on the electronic market and then try to get their hands on the physical stuff to deliver into these contracts. And more people can buy silver in the July contract and stand for delivery, by the way. If you're a multi-billionaire out there and you can't find silver for smaller premiums than $5 or $6, go on to the get your broker to go get some of this cheap silver out of the COMEX warehouse. I mean, it's a great deal. They're giving away practically free silver. We all see the retail markups are into the 20s, and I'm hearing silver eagles into the 30s at times. So absolutely get your physical silver now. Again, I am, if you don't have your silver dealer that you know and trust, which is very important because there could be a lot of force majeures, a lot of bankruptcies coming up for these silver dealers. So if someone is quoting you, yeah, I'll get you your silver in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that means they don't have it. So make sure you know your dealer. I recommend Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin. Andy at milesfranklin.com is his email because I've worked with him forever and he's always come through in the clutch. And he takes care of Road to Ruta members. If you're a Road to Ruta member, go check it out. All right. Today I want to do a lot of chat work because I got crap last time that I wasn't up on all the chats. So let me start reading the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. All right. Who do we got in the chat room? Sam Samuels, Mysterious Deaths, yes. Did you know, I remember like 2 or 3 years ago on the Road to Ruta, maybe 5 years ago, talking about all the microbiologists that were dying off. It was like ridiculous. And now, obviously, we know why. These are the people that could have told us, hey, this is what this is. It's a bioweapon. This COVID stuff is bullshit. They now, if you saw my video from today and yesterday, they are now counting COVID contacts as COVID cases. So if somebody gets diagnosed with having the COVID-19 virus, everybody they've been in close contact with who show any symptom at all, even before they're tested, are counted as COVID patients. That's how criminal these guys are. They don't even care about the rules anymore, truthfully. We got Jean-Claude in the house, who is on fire lately with his YouTube channel. Beyond Mystic. Go check him out. Great interviews, very interesting. All right, Autobond. The Silver State is in Montclair. Spread that silver love, Bix. Tell my old school Montclair peeps I send my best. Skyline 89. Oh my God. Yes, I live in Montclair now, which is a part of Oakland, kind of. Skyline High. Class of 89. You're a kid. Oh, by the way, I turned 56 on Saturday. So, yes. We'll be taking, Road to Root is going to take a few days off and decompress, shall we say. As far as 4th of July, I would say stick to your neighborhoods. Don't go into any big places. Great day for the bad guys to attack America, so just be careful of that. I did a discussion this morning of all the fireworks, massive amounts of huge, like big M80 type fireworks going off all around the big cities of the country. Something big is coming, probably a false flag. Just keep that in mind on the 4th of July. All right. Let's see. Lori Fawcett, have you seen the price of gold and silver on the national debt clock? Yes, the national debt clock looks official, but it is not a government thing. That's nationaldebtclock.org. It's just a private site. It doesn't mean anything other than I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to equate the inflation rate to all the other stocks, bonds, and metals. But you could do that with a calculator. With a calculator that I'm getting one of those ones that has the tape and everything so I can prove it. I'm going to hold it up to everybody. Hey, Super Chat, Steve Lapointe, thank you very much. Bix, how high do you think its value will be by the end of 2020? I assume you're talking about silver. I'm in the Cliff High camp of $600. Yeah, nobody knows the true price of silver. Of course, at $600, it means the comics shut down because the short position of the 8 major shorts, they're down, I think, for gold and silver, about $10 billion right now. So they're bleeding money. Obviously, at $600 silver, they wouldn't be in business. I do expect the COMEX to shut down this year. So we might not know the price of silver, but yeah, on an exchange basis where you're walking to your local guy who can't find any silver and he's looking, I would say $600 would be a nice number. But who knows the true fair market value because there's no silver exchanges on planet Earth right now. There are no physical silver exchanges. The LBMA is not an exchange. It's a joke. But the COMEX is the only one, and that's in futures and options with the delivery mechanism. So, there you go. All right, where are we? Another Vestigard. I know a Vestigard. I worked with a Vestigard when I was in banking. Andy Vestigard, great guy. Great name too, Vestigard. It's got 2 A's in it. What kind of name do you ever see with 2 A's in it? I don't know. It's awesome. Anyway, chats come flying by. The comments come flying by. I'll try to get to them. If you definitely want your question to be answered, do it in a super chat where you got to pay. I don't care what you pay, but I will definitely get to all super chats. I'll try to get to everything else too. Peter, you said oil will go negative again. It did not happen. I said it will either go up or down or sideways or anywhere they place it. I thought they would, and they didn't. It's under control 100%. It can go negative. It could go positive. It could go up to $3,000-$4,000 per barrel. It's all on a computer program rigged by the banksters, the same people. The oil was bigger because oil is the largest commodity bought and sold around the world. That's part of what the petrodollar was, is it required everybody to buy oil in dollars, meaning they all had to keep U.S. dollars in their treasury in order to buy oil. That was all part of what Kissinger and Greenspan set up in the early 1970s. Sam Samuels, I have 20 ounces of gold. That should be enough. Well, think about it. You have 20 ounces of gold, or you can have 2,000 ounces of silver. Why are you holding gold? There's 6 billion of each investable right now on planet Earth. So why hold the I get understanding the concept of monetary metals, but at the end of the day, silver's been a monetary metal longer than gold, and no central banks have any silver, and they will all be probably buying silver at some point. No countries hold silver in reserves, and they will all be buying silver at some point, but they all have gold. So why invest in gold when you can get 10 times, is it 10? It's 100 to 1. you can get 100 times as many silver ounces. I just don't understand that. But hey, let's see. Happy birthday, Bix. Thank you. Will Trump access Grand Canyon gold reserves for metal-backed currency? He might want to. That's the big thing. And I think that the biggest thing that Trump is weighing is do we go to a crypto system? Whatever it will be just national. There will be no more foreign trading and all that. All that's going to freeze for a while people figure out what the hell they're doing. But I think Trump is leaning towards gold. He can't have silver. Silver will be too valuable as money. But there's massive amounts of gold. So yes and no. They don't have to rip out the Grand Canyon gold. There was a lot of it that was already refined in the base of the pyramids within the Grand Canyon. Turn over the $1 bill, and you will see the pyramid that is within the Grand Canyon, not Egypt. And that's why it's still on the back of the $1 bill, is that there was massive amounts of gold, refined gold, bars, relics, they found within the Grand Canyon. I believe they found it. Now, Dick Alldyer did an RV on it, but there's gold everywhere in the Grand Canyon. Big deals were done with China back in the 1930s and were paid back in 1954 when that plane crashed above the site in the Grand Canyon. And that was their excuse for bringing all these heavy lift helicopters into the middle of the Grand Canyon. They weren't pulling out the remains of these two airplanes that crashed. It's the largest airplane crash in the history of the world, at least the history that we know of. And then they shut down the Grand Canyon, brought all these heavy lift helicopters to bring gold out of the Grand Canyon. Part of that was to pay off the Chinese gold loans. Part of the 1934 gold bond issue. I think you guys have probably heard of that. More information on that, go to roadtoroota.com. All right, so if you want your question to jump out, put it on a super chat. $2 is fine. All right, Brent Simpson asks, Bix, what do you think of the Secret of Oz? That was the well, there's many Secrets of Oz. I've written many articles on the Wizard of Oz, the theory of the Wizard of Oz. Secrets of Oz was also a YouTube video by what's his name? I forgot his name. But I liked it. And it's everything. Everybody already knows it. His conclusion was not to go onto a gold standard. But then he got into these cryptos that I think have like little value and tried to pump that. I forgot what the guy's name was. But it's good. I mean, it's a good history of what has been going on the deceit and criminal side of our banking system, which has been going on for a very long time, extremely long time. So yeah, check out. Yeah, still reporting. What's the guy's name? Did you guys somebody write it down? Linda, hey, thank you for the super chat. Ben Still, that's Bill Still. Bill Still, yeah, he's a smart guy. I liked it, but it wasn't, it's nothing profound that most people who've done any kind of research know. Now he's into he was talking about some other cryptocurrency that I didn't even know what it was, and he kind of started pumping that, so it kind of put the brakes on everything. I'm not saying that cryptocurrency is bad. Yes, I do believe the U.S. will come out with the cryptocurrency type of U.S. dollar, but it won't be anything related to the old U.S. dollar. It will be reallocated because we have to get rid of the old U.S. dollar. We have to get rid of that whole system. There's going to be no slow transition. If there is, then we're screwed, and that's why we're being screwed right now. We are in World War III as we speak, and I hope everybody recognizes that. The latest lockdown is pure fabrication of, now it's not how many people are dying or how many hospital beds available. Now it's that, look at all these numbers are increases of people getting it. They're saying it's because the economy is opening up again. No, it was because of the protests, obviously, would spike up the numbers, and they changed the metrics of what you count as a COVID case. So it's all bullshit. Hey, give me a like and thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to Road to Ruta. We hit 70,000 and are kind of stalling there again. YouTube is not kind on Road to Ruta, although we are still up. I'm not bitching at YouTube right now. I have kind of moderated my message. The more powerful stuff I'll put on the private Road to Ruta and on Patreon. But yeah, YouTube management needs to go away. They need not YouTube the platform. It's just too big. The management needs to be replaced because they're anti-freedom and heavily involved with the deep state narrative. So, yeah. All right, let's see what we got. Clint in the house. What's up, bud? I can't wait to go to the Field of Dreams. I won't give away the secret, but the Field of Dreams, it's gonna be a party. Let's see. What do we got here? Did I miss anything? Did I miss any super chats? No. Okay. What are people talking about? Let's see. Trigger warning says, I have worked with metals my whole life, retired now. People have been saying silver will skyrocket forever. I agree. And it's only by the criminality within the banking system that it has not been allowed to do that. Charles Savoy has done some great exposés and articles. As crazy as that dude is, his articles are unbelievable, and it goes back all the way back to the 1850s when they began the silver price suppression because of the opium wars in China. England was getting all the silver in England was flowing into China because they were buying all the spices and teas and all that. So in order to reverse that flow, they set up Hong Kong Shanghai Bank in China to get the population addicted to opium. So they would pay for opium with silver, and that way silver was flowing back into the U.S. It's amazing that HSBC is still on the criminal side of silver after all these years, centuries. But hey, that's what we're dealing with right now. All right, let's see what we got. Diego Perales says, where is the best place to buy Theta? I would say the best place is probably Binance if you have a foreign Binance account. They were, if you're in America, you can't, and you're signing up today on Binance, you can't use it. They don't have Theta on the American version. But you can also go to coinswitch.co, and there's a couple others that you can use. But the best place is Binance if you are grandfathered in, which is I think you have to have the account for 2 years. But CoinSwitch, you can swap Ethereum or Litecoin for Theta. And yeah, I think Theta is going to be amazing. I think it already is amazing, but it's going to be. And remember, yes, Theta went from $4 to $50 and then back to $20. In the crypto world, people chase the shiny object. Whatever's going up, they're going to run all their money over there, and then that'll run up, and then they'll sell it. And it's a trader's wet dream. It's a manipulator's wet dream. Truthfully, there's a lot of manipulation. So there you go. That's my take. And yes, I do think Theta has a lot of use cases in not only broadband, building out the broadband infrastructure of the world, which is a huge problem right now with all this video streaming, but also fixing some of the 5G problems. 5G, it's very short distances. It doesn't go that far. They would have to put up, millions of 5G towers. And, the bad guys might want to do that. But it goes, I think, 100 yards, and you got to put in another tower. There's all kinds of problems with 5G, and that might be one of the things that Theta helps out is the distribution of the 5G network. I don't know about the 5G. I do know about the broadband. Great idea. A lot of big names and big companies are on board. Samsung is going to put it in every one of their devices. So you can cry all you want that Theta is going to do nothing, but when Samsung puts it on every device, something big's going on. Chris Rickard, thank you so much for the super chat. Bix, why do banks keep huge shorts on the COMEX? Why would a high silver price kill the banks? Basically, it's they know that they have to keep the price low. Now, it started out, like I said, in the 1850s with China, but then it got into the Industrial Revolution, and silver's the best conductor of electricity. So all these companies and big corporations wanted to keep the price of silver low. They didn't want silver spiking higher than gold and all that, or they couldn't make their products. So they invented something called the Silver Users Association. Just think of that name, the Silver User. Is there like a gasoline users association or a corn users association, a car users association? No, silver is the only commodity that has a users association. That association was put together to keep the price of silver low for the big corporations. Now, the problem now is that to keep the price low, you have to keep shorting it. And every bank in the last 20 years that have shorted it, Drexel Burnham, back in the 80s and 90s, they were the big short. They imploded. They lost out. What was it? AIG had that big short. They imploded. Bear Stearns had that big short. They imploded. Every bank that ends up taking up the short so that they control the price of silver ends up dying. Now it's JP Morgan. Now JP Morgan has gotten rid of the short. I think it went to BlackRock because it's not a bank and it's off balance sheet type of stuff. So yeah, the reason right now is to keep the monetary system going. If silver went to $600 an ounce, 8 banks would be destroyed, and they're 8 too big to fail banks. So yeah, right now it's just to keep the short position. They would love it if tomorrow the short position went away, and then silver can go to any price you want. It would kill the solar industry and probably flat screen TVs as well. Who's gonna? You have flat screen TVs, huge flat screen TVs under $1,000 now. Would you still buy them if they are $3,000 because the price of silver just went through the roof? Maybe not. So there's a lot of reasons to rig the price of silver, but they're all criminal and they're all illegal. At least they're supposed to be. Not so much for the Exchange Stabilization Fund, which has no laws. Their job is to rig the markets. So we will see. We will see. Tom says silver is kept low to compete with China. Well, I don't know. Compete in what? I mean, China makes everything now, and they're one of the largest consumers of silver because they're making everything for the world. They make all these TVs and electronic devices, so not so sure about that. Ronnie Rude. If banks are on the losing side of the derivative trades, who is on the other side? Well, they're not on the losing side. For the past 50 years, the shorts have been the winning side. And that's how they control the market. They've never lost money until the last couple months. That's why it's so exciting right now. They always won. They would go short, slam the price down, and then cover at a lower price, then run the price up. It's the volumes and concentration that Ted Butler talks about all the time. These banks have never lost money in the past 50 years. But now they are. So there are people looking to take out the bankster criminals. It's just taken forever. All right. Let's see. JMC, John Teeter in Hezi. I like the John Teeter story. And it might be true, part of it. Who knows? I'm really excited about all the RV stuff and the woo-woo stuff coming out. And definitely the next 10 to 15 years are going to be the hardest of your life. So just hang in there. Cliff's Data has it. The remote viewing guys are saying it. All the psychics are saying it. But it's going to be also the most, for your spirit and your soul, these are the times that you really grow and change and adapt. And we all have to change and adapt and second and third guess what our beliefs are, because it might be something different. And we're going to be changing our minds on everything for the next 20 years. It's going to be crazy, but it's why we came here. We're all excited about it. You should be, or you wouldn't have come down here to live through all this bullshit. But it is bullshit, and there's a lot of it. I do expect some chaos, like armed chaos between now and the end of the year. We're starting to see, like in the riots, they're cornering cars, and just was it the other day, they cornered a car, and then a guy comes out with a pistol and starts firing in the car. And then you got the guys with their mansion trying to protect their mansion with guns after the people broke into their private area. I mean, what are they supposed to do? You can't call the police won't come anymore. So yes, this is the kind of chaos that the bad guys want to destroy our liberties and our freedom. That's the thing we got to hang on to. So, yes, if someone charges into your house, shoot them. What are you going to do? Oh, wait till he shoots you first, because if I shoot him, I'll be seen as the bad guy. No, he's on your property. The first couple guys who get shot, the protesters go onto personal property, get shot. All of a sudden, it stops. They won't go on personal property anymore. It's that simple, and that will happen. Unfortunately, that's the way we're going, and they're pulling out the guns too. There's a huge shipment of guns from China intercepted, and yeah, that kind of scares me. How many got through that weren't intercepted, and where are they going? A lot of people saying the Antifa is fully armed to the T, and over the next 6 months, they're going to turn it into a shooting war. So, hang in there, Americans. Everything's going to be different. All right, where are we in the chat room? Sam Samuels, I actually worked in security for J.P. Morgan, First Chase Plaza. I have been to that building. I've had meetings in that building. In my banking life, we managed a portfolio of assets for J.P. Morgan themselves, their nuclear facility. So I had to go to that once a year. I had to go give them an update. This is before I knew. You see, the vast majority of workers at J.P. Morgan have no idea how criminal they are. No idea at all. It's just a handful at the top who know what's going on. So, yeah, my boss finally said, I was talking shit about JP Morgan when I understood the gold and silver rigging and all that, and my boss comes to me and says, Biggs, you can't talk about our partner like that. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot. he was a cool boss. He kept me talking about gold and silver, and that was my job. I was analyzing mining equipment, and yeah, we can blame for J.P. Morgan for a lot of at least since they took over Bear Stearns, I think in 2008 or 9, that's when the rigging really started. That's when Bart Chilton, one of the CFTC commissioners, announced to the world that, yeah, J.P. Morgan was rigging the silver market. But it was a political decision not to bust them, which is just embarrassing for my country again. All right. Richard Einstein, Obama purchased 1.3 billion hollow points and hundreds of thousands of firearms that are gone. They are in the hands of terrorists like Antifa and BLM. Yeah, I heard that too, and I'm sure that's true. He also had massive amounts of U.S. dollars, $100 bills printed and put in the Red Cross, these Red Cross containers that people are finding all over the world. The money is about to implode. There's $100 printing presses in Russia and China. They're just printing them at will. It's a confidence game. Remember, fiat money is a confidence game. Cryptocurrencies is a math game. If you believe in math, invest in cryptocurrencies. Gold and silver is a physical game. Now, the problem with gold is you don't know how much there is. Jeffrey Christian will tell you 200,000 tons. No, it's more like a couple million tons if you count everything. Read Yamashita's Gold. That'll give you a little insight. Or go to Road to Ruta and look up Grand Canyon gold or Chocolate Mountain gold. There's so much gold in the world. It's crazy that we think there's not that much. We will see. Silver, I do think we are running out. Why? Because they had to shut down the Y-12 facility in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, that was still processing enriched uranium for our nuclear programs. So, yeah. Joe, Bix, what do you think of Nesra and Jesra? I think they're real. I think there's no way, not a chance in the world, they would help at all. So I don't think you should. I don't think you should lay your hat on that. First of all, you would have to get everybody to agree to rejigger everything, and we can't even agree on what kind of toilet paper we're going to buy for the city hall. You can't agree. Monetary regimes like that can only be forced upon you by dictate. And remember, Nesra and Jesra don't fix the problem. The big problem of misallocated cash and debt doesn't fix the problem. It just rejiggers things. And truthfully, I think Nesra and Jesra both are ways the bad guys want to pretend to tell the world that they fixed everything, but they still get to keep what they have. That's my take. You asked. All right. Sam Sanders again. Why does always when I look down, Sam, you're in there. What are you posting every 2 seconds? New York City is about to go full apocalypse. Probably. That's what they want. That's what the Democrats want. It's horrible for the country. Um, and yeah, it might. But even what does that mean? It means if you own any property in New York, probably you're going to get screwed. If you own a business, you're going to get screwed. They want to destroy the middle class and make everybody dependent upon the state. And that's why they're shutting everything down. So, I don't know. All right, let's see. Trigger warning. I live 45 minutes from CHOP, looking at property in Idaho. you know, that whole CHOP thing. I heard that the was it the governor or something, or the mayor of Seattle, the woman. I think it's the governor or mayor. I heard that once they started saying, "Hey, we're going to come to your multi-million-dollar house," that's when everything was shut down. That's the hypocrisy of these people. Um, and in Minneapolis, the council members who are voting to defund the police they are hiring security for themselves, paid by the city. So the people don't deserve security, but you do as a politician. It's ridiculous. It is complete ridiculousness. All right, let's see what else we got in the chat room. Hey, you guys like and subscribe. Thank you for doing that. Polly P, do you have a silver testing kit? And if so, can I borrow it for a weekend soon? Yeah, but they aren't that good. I mean, there's all kinds of different testing ways to test silver. Most of them just scratch the surface of something. Now, Polly, if you're just sitting there with like 100-ounce bars, yeah, I'd weigh them, and that's probably, unless you want to drill them. If you drill them, you can get a sampling of the core, which will be interesting. But like I said, I've always said, hey, you're better off. You don't want to find out that your 100-ounce bar is fake before you're able to sell it. If you don't know if it's real silver or real gold in these big bars, go in, swap it for some coinage. You don't know. You're not defrauding your silver dealer. You just don't know, and nobody knows. That's going to be big. I've written about that a lot in the 19 ways to fix the silver market. One of them is you got to have a complete meltdown of all big bars because nobody knows what's in them. And just recently, a bunch of gold was found to be fake. So the testing kits only really scratch the surface of the metal. They don't go deep inside, and I think there are certain tools that you can buy, electronic. I forgot the name of them, but you point it on the metal and you click, and it'll tell you how much gold's in there, how much silver, and things like that. I don't even know if those are that good. Yeah, but I have a couple of those scratch off. If it's this color, it's 22 karat. If it's this color, that's just the surface of it. And it screws up your gold and silver with scratch marks and all that. So stick to coins, stick to pre-65 coinage. That's probably the best right now. John says, Bix, what happens to coins that were not mined to be created when it all goes down? What happens to coins that were not mined to be created when it all goes down? I don't know what that really means. I don't know what's going to go down either. Nobody does. And probably it's just going to be a hell of a lot of chaos for a long time. That's what we're going to have to deal with. I don't think a gold-backed system will have any effect at all. I think that would be a huge failure. Why? Because the reason you go onto a gold standard is because you don't trust the people who run the old thing because they abused it. Why would we have a backed currency? Because you got to trust who's backing it. It's like Fort Knox. Nobody knows who owns that gold. Nobody knows if those are pure gold bars. There was a lot of talk. Rob Kirby talked about huge orders to make gold-plated tungsten bars to be replacing the ones in at Fort Knox. But I don't even think we need it. Fort Knox is fine. That's not where all the gold is. All the gold's in the Grand Canyon and Chocolate Mountain and the Yamashita's gold in the Philippines and all that. And the Chinese, what was it, the dragon family that has supposedly millions of tons of gold? Absolutely, they do. And then there's the treasures within the United States. Watch the movie National Treasure. That is more close to reality than we really know. And where is Trump celebrating 4th of July? At Mount Rushmore. I'm just saying, I'm no conspiracy guy, but hey, when a conspiracy stinks, there you go. And that might be what Trump's doing in Mount Rushmore. He's going to tour all the lands of Cibola. Is it Cibola? The cities of gold. I think that has to do with the Grand Canyon. You know, you're not allowed to go in 95% of the caves in the Grand Canyon. Still to this day, after 100 years since Woodrow Wilson locked the Grand Canyon up and then created the Federal Reserve. It's crazy, crazy. Oh, by the way, today is Wednesday, and Word Wednesday comes out later today. Paige has done a great job on that, and I'm not going to tell you what the word is, but go to the Bixweir Instagram and follow that Instagram, and you will see the video discussing the third word on Word Wednesday. So check it out. She's doing a great job, and I hope you guys appreciate. She's learning a ton, and she's really good in front of the camera, and yeah, she's doing awesome. So check that out. Support the kids. She's trying to spread the word of all this stuff to her generation, which they've been, locked behind video games for way too long. And I think that's ending too. So we will see. We will see. All right. JK, hey Bix, how much silver was delivered on the comics today? I don't know. They don't announce it until I think late at night. That's all I know. I look in the afternoon and they haven't. But the first 2 days, the first day was 11,458 contracts, which is like 56. Was that 56 million ounces? Again, I need my calculator. And then yesterday was 810 contracts times 5,000 ounces per contract. So today, probably 700. Throughout the whole month, it will probably be 15 to 20, maybe. But then again, it's one of those things that you can go in there today if you have a big chunk of money and buy a contract and have it delivered this month. It's a delivery month. So you can buy a new contract and have it delivered. That might be what some of the good guys are doing, or they're going to hold off till September, the end of the fiscal year of the United States, get the bad guys back on September 11th. There's plenty of reasons to hang on for September. But then again, we're looking at all kinds of chaos between now and then. Who knows? Most likely, I think by September, if there was a large withdrawal of comic silver, they would just shut it down. I don't think they would keep going. Because I don't think J.P. Morgan wants to lease out the remaining silver that they have. They had 1 billion ounces, probably about 500 million are left. So at some point, they're going to say, no, I can't do it. Big Bubs. What did they do with our pre-1964, pre-65 coins? 1964 was the cutoff date. Coins, do you think they melted most of them down? They could. Ted believes that J.P. Morgan bought silver eagles, new silver eagles, and melted those down into comics delivery bars. That's crazy. But when you're a bank that creates money out of thin air, money doesn't mean anything. You're a bank like J.P. Morgan, money doesn't need anything. Jamie Dimon said $5 trillion a day goes out in and out of its Florida money center. $5 trillion a day. Why? What's the market cap of J.P. Morgan? $2 trillion. Why is $5 trillion per day going out? It's all derivative ridiculousness. So who knows what happened? Definitely get your hands on physical silver if you can, because I believe Cliff Howie's data is 100% correct. We're going to hit $600 silver at some point. I think that's kind of the starting point when people say, "Oh, what's going on here?" And I do think silver and gold will cross 1-to-1. Why? Because there's 6 billion of each, and silver's more necessary than gold is. So there you go. Let's see. Charles Fairbanks. How long can we keep printing money until it implodes? Infinity is the number that Ruta wrote in the sand. And that's Charles, what's his, Mark Skidmore did a interview with Greg Hunter just recently, and he's found another, 120 trillion dollars of of a way to figure out how much the Fed is printing in treasury bonds. Another 120 trillion with a T dollars that is in the treasury market. And it's like, wait a minute, where does anybody check on any accounting of anybody anymore? And no, they don't. As a matter of fact, FASB passed a law saying that the U.S. government doesn't even have to tell you the truth. So if they don't have to tell you the truth, what's the number? Infinity. That's what Ruta wrote into the sand in the Road to Ruta comic books back in 1981 when the first one was written. And then in 2007, when that comic book was redone, they took out the formula called On the Road to the Golden Age, where it shows infinity money, and they replaced it with 9/11, or 11 plus 9. And then in 2008 on 9/11, that's when they pulled 500 billion out of the money market funds and almost imploded the system, which tells me that the Federal Reserve pulled that money out. Good guys or bad guys? It's debatable. I think it's the good guys. So, hey, I got 975 or 675 viewers. Very cool. Hey, give me a thumbs up. How many thumbs up do I have? Mine isn't refreshing. Mine says 3. I have 3 thumbs up. It might be. Hey, who knows? Let's see. From John Bix, do you believe the 2020 coin shortage is baloney, or is it the banks pulling coinage out of circulation? I think it's getting us used to. Same with the COVID stuff on cash. It's getting us used to a cashless society. Bad guys want a cashless society. It's not good for freedom. None of this is good for freedom. That's the problem, and that's what they're trying to steal. So it's going to either break one way or the other. I hope. Well, Trump is in charge. The good guys are in charge right now. I think before they leave office, they wouldn't leave any stone unturned. So they would release all the information on all the criminality, all the pedophiles, all the market rigging, all that. So, if you think about it, if Trump really thinks he's going to lose the election, which I don't think he will, but if he does, why not release all the secrets? Why not tell people about free energy? Why not, expose the pedophiles? Why not, just let it all, just open the kimono and say, hey, here's everything. I don't know. It's going to be a crazy year 0, man. It already is. And Cliff warned us about this back in September at the Litecoin Summit. He did a video for the Road to Ruta members. He's like, this is going to be one crazy year. Here's how it's going to go down, and it's not going to be over. This is going to go on for 15 years or so, 20 years. Year 0, I think, will be the most shocking. And then you just kind of get numb to it all. Ultimately, you got to keep your freedom and keep your liberty. Keep fighting for that, because that's the big thing they want to steal from us. All right. Brent Simpson, it's Canada Day, but there are so few Canadians standing for truth. I am celebrating Father's Day instead. Is that Father's Day? Father's Day. I don't know what Canada Day is. Is it like the 4th of July type of thing? Maybe. Celebrating something else, but yes. John Johnson, because Trump is a Zionist, he's one of them. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. He wouldn't have done all the look at the executive orders he signed versus the kind of executive orders that Obama signed and Bush signed. Completely different. The executive orders tell the truth of what's going on behind the scenes. Trump is the bull in a china shop. He's put there to deflect all the insanity. As soon as things start calming down, he'll say something crazy and draw attention away from the good guys who are doing the real work behind the scenes. That's my take on why Trump is there. He's carrying on Michael Mukasey's work, who started taking down the cabal with Bernie Madoff and the Madoff. It wasn't a Ponzi scheme. It was a it was how the bad guys were paid off with market rigging, and it wasn't 500 billion. It wasn't 550 billion. It was 500 billion and more. And who was the only banker for Bernie Madoff? J.P. Morgan. Did anybody go to jail besides Bernie? No, no. And I think, did he die in jail and went off to the Kinley Island with Epstein and those guys? I don't remember what happened to Bernie. But that was the big open start of the battle for our country. And it's the good guys and the bad guys behind the scenes now. And it's spilling out all over. You can see it. And then Q came on. I was talking about good guys and bad guys back when I found the Fed documents. And it's true. It's happening behind the scenes. You won't see it until the game is over, probably. Unknown. Grover, love your music. Where can we buy it? We sell the music boxes when we go on tour or give them away. I think we sell those. On the Road to Ruta channel, we do a lot of videos. But I have an old album on iTunes. I've never gotten any commission from iTunes. Just I think it's like a $10. You can download all the songs. It was songs I did long ago there at the Crypto Songs. But yeah, when we tour around and we have these music boxes that have like, I don't even remember, 80, 90 songs on them. Like some of my first songs I ever wrote back in the early 1980s. I'm just sitting in a bathtub with my cassette, the two things you hit to record on your little cassette player. Classic stuff out of there. So bad. But I thought, it'd be funny to have it on the music box. So, yeah, we do that. All right, let's see. Yes, but we are going to put more effort and energy into the music stuff because that's what I enjoy doing, especially if silver manipulation ends. That would be a good day. That'll be a great day and give me more. It'll free up so many people I know from battling this craziness. There's 666 people in the chat room right now or watching. That's where my screen is frozen at 666. Uh-oh. I remember when the cabal froze the price of gold at 666 on the COMEX and then on the LBMA just to show everybody that they controlled everything with their computer programs. It was really funny. I mean, kind of sick and demented, but I was like, that's just hysterical. That's rubbing it in our face. And they still control the price of silver to this very day. That's why you guys should be, if you're just new to this silver thing, you are loving life because you don't have to go through 50 years of pain and torture and fighting like Ted Butler's gone through, or mine is 20 years of fighting this fight. But we are closer to the end than ever before. Again, the last time this amount of silver was demanded for delivery, anything close to this was back in 1980 when the Hunt brothers were taken down. So we will see what's going to happen. Okay, let's see what we got. Silver Reduce says, yes, use silver to eat with. Yeah, that's the saying, born with a silver spoon in your mouth. That came from babies were using silver spoons because it kills the bacteria. Silver kills bacteria on contact. So born with a silver spoon was healthier babies because the rich could afford the silver spoon so that the babies eat off the silver spoon, killing the germs. And that's theoretically where that came from, born with a silver spoon in his mouth. There's your history lesson for the day. David Bryant, do you think 3 monster boxes of American Eagles is enough to do well after the reset? Well, it depends what do well means. Yeah, obviously, if silver's freely traded, each one of those silver eagles will probably be worth over $1,000. And so 3 boxes is what, 1,500? Each box is 500. So 1,500 times 1,000 is 1.5 million. Is that right? Again, I need my calculator. Yeah, that should do you well. But who knows what the dollar will be worth at that point in time, right? Everything's relative. Everything is relative. Bex, any news on Kincoin? When will it hit $1 so I could be super, super rich? Kincoin is being in the process of taken down by the criminals at the SEC, just like Veritasium was taken down. Management of the Kincoin wanted to fight the SEC. Probably not a good idea since they control all the judges. Reggie didn't fight. Reggie decided he started to fight and had a clear, open and shut case, and then backed down because he was probably told, "Hey, there's no way you can win this fight. The judges are in the pockets of the banking cabal." That's part of what Trump's trying to do is take out the judges, the criminal judges. It's kind of like, how much can you fight these people when the whole court system is in their corner? That we'll see. All right, what else we got? Bix, are you aware of any issues downloading a Theta Guardian node? No. I obviously a lot of the Road to Root people have gotten 10,000 Theta and have downloaded the Guardian node. It takes a while when you first set it up to download. The only problem you might have is make sure your computer fits the specs. I think they list the specs. If you go to the thetatoken.org website, and it gives you what the specs are needed for the computer that you're running it on. You might not have enough memory, might not have the processor speed or something like that. But other than that, no, I haven't heard of any problem. Other than when you first download it, it's got to download the blockchain, so it takes 4 or 5 hours or something like that. I heard people. I woke up the next day and I had already made some Theta Fuel, which is cool. I am running a Guardian node, and I love, and it'll go down once in a while, mainly because like you'll turn your computer off by accident. The computer's got to be up and running at all times for you to earn the Theta Fuel, and when your computer turns off for any reason and the program starts running, you have to restart it. So you quit the Theta Guardian node program, and then you restart it, and then it loads the blockchain back up, and it goes faster. But yeah, that's my take. Yes, it's very fun mining Theta Fuel, and you don't need Theta, by the way. You can get an Edge node. Go to the Theta website or maybe their Medium channel, and you can download the Edge node, which is the broadband sharing capability, and you can put that on your computer, and you'll earn Theta Fuel doing that too, and you don't have to have any Theta. So go check that out, the Theta Edge node. Okay. William Hardman, staked Theta coins are not in your possession, I understand. They are not. Yeah, but the only way to unstake them, they go to the wallet that staked them. So if you unstake your Theta, they're going right back to you. They're just held in another area, as far as I can tell, because you can't unstake Theta to a different address other than your private key or your public key. I believe that's how the software. It's open source software, so all you computer guys can check that out. But I believe that's how it works. You can't unstake Theta and send it to a separate wallet than what it was staked from. That's my take. When is Theta Fuel going to $100? I would love Theta Fuel to go to $100. I'll be on my on my little island, like you guys remember that movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. We'll be on the little island at the end. Looking good, Willis. Feeling good, Reggie, or whatever it is. I love that. It's hysterical. Yeah, if Theta Fuel went to, it's just to give you some context. I'm mining Theta Fuel right now, and it's less than a penny on the exchanges. Now, Theta Fuel, when it is needed to use the Theta network, which is coming up, yeah, I do believe it might go. Right now, it's 25 or 30 to 1 to Theta. I think in the heyday, it's going to get up to 5 to 1. So even if it's kind of like gold and silver. Even if you play the ratio, Theta Fuel should do well to get back to 5 to 1. And the people involved in it, Samsung and Google and Binance has like, I was looking at the Guardian monitor. Binance has like 90 million? 90 million staked Theta. Yeah, Binance is kind of criminal, but at the same time, Binance has they hold all the Theta tokens for their customers and they're staking them. So they're making money because their customers are too lazy to stake them themselves. Too lazy to figure out how to do it. I would guess. I don't know. Okay, John Segerman, Bix, thoughts on Ethereum going to proof of stake versus staying proof of work? Yeah, Ethereum had to go. They had to go to proof of stake for speed. Ethereum is not a cryptocurrency. It is a platform that companies can build on. I think they're doing the right thing. I think they're getting a lot of buy-in from heads of state. I know Vitalik met with Putin's people, and yeah, Ethereum is going to be a hugely useful tool as we transition out of the old system into the new. People have asked me about this new law saying in the U.S. companies have to build in a backdoor so that everything is open. I don't think any country that passes laws like that will succeed in the future. Free markets is going to be the way to succeed, not handcuffing industries and especially the blockchain. If you want to put all these rules and regulations around blockchain, your country's going to go in the dumper in a matter of years. That's the future. So the less rules, the better for blockchain. So I don't think that law would pass, and if it did, the United States will lose its standing as one of the best countries, building out their infrastructure. The future is in blockchain, and anything that gets in the way of that is absolutely hurting themselves, is shooting themselves in the foot, in my opinion. Hell, who knows though? Maybe the United States wants to lock its citizens up and say that you can't move forward and humanity can't move forward if you live in the United States. A lot of people in the United States would move out of the country. People are already doing that. I'm fighting for the return of our founding principles, and I think we'll win. I do ultimately. It's not that easy. It's taking a hell of a lot longer than I thought, but I do think we're gonna win that fight. All right, we've gone on for an hour. I think we're good. Again, we're gonna be taking a couple days off around the 4th of July, my birthday, to do some celebrating, to get rid of our masks and go out and enjoy our country and our friends and family. And don't let the government tell you not to give your friends and family a hug. Your best bet is load up on vitamin D, load up on chaga, load up on vitamin C, and know that we're all going to get this thing, and the vast majority will not die from it. If you are susceptible, if you think, oh my God, I'm too fragile to be involved with it, don't go outside. Lock yourself up. Otherwise, go out and enjoy your country. We're only here for so long on planet Earth, and we need to enjoy it. It's a good place to live. All right, you guys, you be safe. Take care. Again, watch out for all the fireworks going off in the major cities. There might be some false flags planned around that. Hey, we're going to run up and down the street firing bullets, and people will think it's just fireworks type of thing. So keep an eye out for that. Protect yourself, protect your family, and I'll talk to you guys later.